So we're going to start out today with a little bit of review of how to create a linear function. On your quiz next week, you will be given tables and you will be given graphs, and you need to be able to create linear functions and exponential functions. Okay, so the linear ones are review, right? Who remembers what we use for a linear function? Y equals?
AX plus B.
ABX is an exponential function. Y equals MX plus B.
I was close enough. Oh.
Close does not count in math.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Sometimes when you put an OK.
Well, the OK is because you did the math correctly. You just didn't use the right numbers, but you know the process. So that's why I don't count it wrong.
So we were close enough.
I can start counting them wrong.
No.
Alex is okay.
It's good with the OKs.
All right. So remember, M is our slope, B is our y-intercept. So based on this table, who can tell me what my slope would be? So remember, slope is change in y over change in x.
-2, or just 2,
It's going to be 2x. And then what's my y-intercept? Who remembers what the, what? 5 plus 5. Right, so I got the 2x because I'm adding 2 each time to my y values. And my denominator is 1, so it's just going to be 2. And then my y-intercept, remember, is always where x is 0.
I thought we were doing.
We're doing a flashback here. That's why it says flashback.
This is slope, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Again,
Uh-huh.
Okay, because I thought I was tripping.
back to the flag.
Nope. Okay. So then if I were to give you this graph, and let me make sure I use the same one that I did for the other class.
If I scoot my desk over to that corner, can I take my mouse off?
What now? No, I can't let you. I'm sorry. But you know what? If we finish, we can go outside for some shadow tag. You
No,
guys wanna
we
go
gotta
outside?
finish. Let's dial it in right here. Let's dial it in.
Alright, come on, Miss Marsh.
Still, one of my favorite things was like, oh my gosh, you guys are actually playing shadow tag. That's amazing.
I'm the dope.
Wait, not to play that.
I'm the
Pretty
dope.
fun.
I'm the dope.
Okay.
I'm the dope.
Say it again, TJ.
Honestly, a comedian.
All right.
Nah.
So we're going to fill in this graph here. We've got our x-axis and our y-axis. And we're going to go by single digits for both values, for the increments. Excuse me.
Remember Mrs. Small? I don't struggle with that. Remember Mrs. Small had like 7.
Oh my God, we counted.
Yeah.
Who's that?
She's our 4th grade teacher, me and Finn.
You guys were in 4th grade together?
How did we end up
What?
with that?
You guys, I just made it. I just created it.
Oh.
That's hilarious.
Wait,
And then I were in the
Wait,
same
my-
grade, and Adam's mom was our teacher.
I
That's
created the graph.
amazing.
Mine's going upwards. How's your line?
Guys, I just made up a totally new graph. This is totally separate from the table. This is new. New graph. Here. New graph. New data. Totally new problem. Question 2. Okay, so somebody tell me, what will my linear function be?
Y equals -3/2 plus 8.
Negative 3 over 2x plus 8, right? So we have our slope, down 3, forward 2. Our y-intercept is here at plus 8. Okay. Turn the paper over. Here we go. Exponential. This is exciting.
I'm not really that excited.
Okay.
I get excited for some things, like
You're going to be fine. Okay.
Trying to get my shot.
So what is our exponential function form? Somebody said it before. Yep. Y equals AB to the x. Okay. So for this one, we need to figure out what is the change for my y values. What's happening to each of these to get to the next one? Yep. Times 4, times 4, times 4, times 4. And then our x's are still just adding 1, so that doesn't really change. So our exponential function is going to be function of x equals, we don't have an a value. There's no a value. So we don't have to put a 1. This times 4 is going to be my b value. And then x is just going to be whatever my x value will be. Right? So whatever happened here becomes this number, and then the x is whatever I choose for my x values, which you guys all remembered was -2, -1, 0, 1, 2.
So the plus 1 doesn't change.
So the plus 1 is just saying that, yeah, we went in order for our x values, right? Remember, the a is a secret 1 hiding here. But that has nothing to do with our choices for our inputs.
So we would have to plot 0.0625 on the graph.
I mean, estimate it. Yeah, it would be like super estimated. I would know it's like almost touching the axis, but not quite touching the axis, right?
Yeah.
Because nothing goes below or above the axis. Okay, so now we're going to do a similar situation. New data. Write yourself a note. New data. Okay, so we've got our x-axis, our y-axis. Please pay close attention to the increments for the x-axis. Every 2 lines counts, right? So we skip 2 lines. And then the y-axis is going to be by 3s. And I'm just going to put in some points for you. Trying to make it so it's dark enough that you guys can see it. There we go, that's a little better. Okay, so I still have f of x. Now tell me, what am I doing if you look at the y values? What are the y values of each of these ordered pairs? Chase?
Dividing by 3.
We have 27, 9, 3, and then you can't really see it, but that would be 1. Okay? And yes, we are dividing by 3. So what do you think my b value is going to be for this one? It's not a negative.
Fraction.
Okay, so what fraction is it that tells us to divide by 3? 1/3 for the x. What if each of these was like, say, 125, 25, 5? What would my rule be?
Divide by 5.
Divide 1/5. Yep, that would be my b value. What if it was 2, 4, 8, 16? What would my b value be? 32, 64,
Multiply by 2.
multiplied by 2. So it would be f of x equals 2 to the x power.
Can I put this away?
I'm not sure what that is.
I don't think you should have to do this.
No, the system of linear equation by stuff.
Yeah, you probably don't need that one as much. Okay, so let's take a look now at,
We don't do check.
I've got so many papers here. Take out your notes from from Monday, the ones that say exponential functions at the top.
If I have a throat and I drink water, I have to throw my and not like
Please.
Hey, what do you say?
Nothing. Please stop it.
Wait, no, what you say?
If I have that throat,
No.
if I have a
You're
throat,
describing it wrong.
why do you
So you know how you have a throat, right?
No.
So you drink through it, and then if I'm pouring water in my mouth, how does my mouth fill up?
Because you're inserting water into
No. But if I have a throat, why is it not just going down my throat?
Because you have like your tongue blocks the like valves in your throat, and you have to let your tongue settle so it goes down.
Yeah, we'll let you.
I'm pretty sure I'm talking to you still.
Okay, let's get back to this because remember our goal is shadow tag. So turn to the last page. And you do need a couple colored pencils, just 2 colors. Whatever colors your heart desires.
I don't even think
I'm going to use red and blue, but you can use whatever you would like.
You need your packaging back.
No, that's for you to have and love.
Thank
You're welcome.
What color?
I'm going to use red and blue, but you can use whatever 2 you would like.
Very
Okay, so the first thing I need you guys to do is cross out this 4 here, this 4 here, and then down at the bottom cross out the one the 4 in front of that function as well. Yep, we're just going to get rid of that. That kind of overcomplicated things when I was working through it, so we're just going to get rid of it. All right,
Okay.
so let's go ahead and fill in our tables of values.
No, I'm not.
So if I were to put these into the calculator, I would get 0.25, 0.5, 1, 2, and 4. And then the next one is kind of a little bit wild, wonky, crazy. So what I would do here is I would still use this as my x. What's negative 2 minus 3? So in my calculator, I would do 2 to the negative 5th, hit equals, and then add 2 to my answer. So that's how you do that in the calculator. I'm just going to give you guys the numbers. They're very bizarre. 2.03125,
I didn't know we had 5.
2.0625, 2.125,
Please say we don't.
2.25,
So,
2.5,
we do it round, right?
and then we're going to add on a few more rows here, and it'll make sense once we get into the mathing of it.
I don't think we're playing shadow tag.
Not funny.
You're going to play shadow tag. Don't worry, plenty of time. Okay. So again, what I did in the calculator here is I put the x value where the x is, like normal. So let's just say for this number 3 down here, what's 3 minus 3? 0. 2 to the 0 power is 1, and then the 1 plus 2 gave me a 3 for my y value. Okay, so 4 minus 3 is 1, 2 to the first power is 2, plus 2 gave me the 4 down here. 5 minus 3 is 2. Do you guys see what's happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and graph both of these, and then we'll kind of compare. But I want you guys to watch how I graph them because obviously we've got some pretty small values here. So the first thing I need is x and y axis. So I'm going to make my x axis here and my y axis here. So negative 2.25, negative 1.501, 1, 2, 2, 4. So that's going to be my first one. And we'll make that one red. And then I'll color in this function red up here so I remember. And And then for the second one, I mean, you just kind of have to be like super estimated. So -2, 2.03 something or other. -2, 2.06 something or other. That was -1. 0, 2.1 something or other. 1, 2.25. 2, 2.5. Oops. I'm not going up high enough. Sorry about that. I need to be right here at the 2's. Okay. Can you guys see it? It's weird with the glare. Okay, so I'm gonna draw this in here. Maybe that'll help a little bit. So it basically looks like a straight line and then it curves up. Right? Can you guys see that better now? And I'll fill in the red ones a little bit better too. Okay. Okay, so here's where we get out of our comfort zone and we start talking about what actually is happening with these two graphs. Okay. First of all, what do you notice about the blue graph compared to the red graph? Is it above or below? It shifted up. And then is it moving, did it move to the right or the left?
Right.
To the right. So what do we notice? It shifted up. It shifted right. And there's actually a rhyme or reason to that. Okay, it's not just random. There's actually something happening here. And you can see it in the equation. So in the future, you would only have to do one graph, and then you could look at the function and be like, oh, I know exactly where to put my points for my second function. Okay, so put your pencils down. We're going to look, listen, learn. Is everybody ready to be like, wow, that's amazing, Mrs. Marsh?
I'm about to be like, wow, that's really confusing.
Nope, it's going to be great.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want you guys to look at is up here, this function. What we have here is f of x equals abx minus h plus a. So we have these two new values. Just go with it. I don't know why they're h, I don't know why they're a. They just are. Okay. This h here tells you if you're going to shift to the left or the right. So h. So if it's plus h, oddly enough, you shift left. If it's minus h, you shift right, which we can see up here. We have -3 and our graph shifted to the right, correct? Okay. The a, if it's plus a, you shift up. So that one is pretty obvious. And if it's minus a, you shift down. Right? So that's why this graph moved 3 to the right and 2 up. And you're thinking, these numbers don't look like 3 and 2. So, okay, I want everybody to, I'm going to zoom in on the graph really close. I'll give you a second to write those down in a second, okay? Don't worry about missing out on that. All right, so if I take this point here, everybody see this point here? If I move 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, and 2 up, I'm on a point of my blue line. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
If I take this point here and I go 3 to the right and 2 up, I'm on a point from my blue line.
Bro, this is weird.
Right?
This is,
No way.
If I take this point here, which is kind of in a weird spot, and I go 3 to the right and 2 up, I'm at another point for my blue graph.
No, but what if you go 3 to the left?
Well, that would only be if I had plus 3 up here.
yeah.
I would go 3 to the left, right?
Weirdo.
So some people have trouble because they're like, well, my table doesn't work out. It does actually. So this h tells me I'm going to go 3 to the right. What's 3 to the right of 5, of 2? 5, right? And then the a value tells me to go up 2. What's 2 more than 4? 6. right? So really, these 2 points are connected in that respect, right? So if I had this point here, 3, I'm going to get 8 here, right? So what would my next value be on this table?
No way.
Well, what's 3 plus 3? 6.
Is it a 10?
10.
And then that would be 10. Yes. This would be 6 and 10 if I had another row here.
What is our beer?
Are you guys having fun?
Yeah.
Right.
Wolverine.
So that's kind of like our out of your comfort zone mathing. But now let's look here. What would happen if we graphed this function? Somebody tell me, what's it going to look like?
To the left and up. No, down.
Left,
Down,
left,
Yep, left down, yep.
5,
Down.
down, 6,
Sending
right?
I said
Because this is telling me left 5, and this is telling me down 6.
I could have sworn I heard me and
Ta-da! That's it. Shadow tag. Let's go.